Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play The Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes. We're playing The Case of the Serrated Scalpel, and we're on part 8. In our previous video, we visited the Haddington Street Chemist and talked to the Richard, who was the one that had apparently wanted to see Sarah Carroway, the victim. And it turns out that Richard's actually innocent and that he was just an admired fan. He'd went to one of Sarah's plays and had fallen in love with her and became an admirer, but had nothing to do with the murder whatsoever, so he is obviously innocent. But if you recall, during our game of darts, we actually learned that there was some tobacco from the Bradley's Tobacco Shop, where we've gone in here, and we might be able to get some information as it pertains to our case in here. But let's, again, we'll always take a look around just to see what we can see, what we can find. So cigar crate, a large crate. It is made of fiberboard and wood. It has a rough finish. Labels and customs declarations are plastered on the lid. They indicate that the crate contained tobacco leaves and finished cigars from Cuba. Anything else we can look at? Moose head. This is a large stuffed moose head mounted on a mahogany board. Taxidermist appears to have been more than competent. Near the top of it, the board is a metal plaque with an inscription on it. It cannot be read by simply looking up. The head itself conceals it. Else. And a young lady minding the shop. Or excuse me, a young man, not a young lady. This young man is reading an old, tattered novel. He looks up occasionally to see if his customers need anything, and he seems rather indifferent to his job here. Let's see. Or a young lad. Why did I say young lady? Apologize. Alright, so what we want to do while we're in here is we're going to try to move the cigar crate. Hold on now, I can't give you the run of the place. The owner would be angry if he found out I had allowed anyone to mess in his shop. Alright, so we can't move the cigars, but we can talk to him. Let him know it's vitally important. May we speak with the proprietor, please? I'm sorry, sir. He's in Scotland shooting grouse. He won't be back for several days, I'm afraid. I'm told that he's rarely in. With all his hunting trips, he's even been to East Africa. Perhaps you can tell us where that moose head comes from. From somewhere in North America, I believe. No, my boy, he means... No, my boy, he... excuse me. No, my boy, he means, do you know where the proprietor had the moose head preserved? Indeed, Watson. I should have been more precise. I don't know anything about that. I've heard him boasting saying about the moose, though. Very proud of it. He says they are very dangerous. Doesn't look dangerous, does it? It is imperative that I find out where the moose head was stuffed. Can you think of anything that might help me? I'm sorry, sir. I don't have any idea, and I can't think of anyone else that might know. I'm just helping out here, temporary-like. It is of vital importance that I be allowed to continue my investigation without hindrance. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't know who you are, and I can't be letting just anyone come in and start moving things around. He's not just anyone. This is Sherlock Holmes. My dear boy, I assure you I will harm nothing. Your sense of responsibility does you proud, but your assistance would be most valuable. It may help apprehend a murderer. Well, I suppose it's all right if you look about the place, as long as you're careful. Excellent. So he agrees to do so. And what we want to do is we want to move the crates. And essentially, what we want to do, we want to move them until they're stacked over near the moose head. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There we go. Alright, one more to move. There we go. And now, what we want to do, we're going to look at the moose head. This is a large stuffed moose head. The moose head is mounted on a large mahogany board. The head is attached to the wall from a hook which goes through a hole at the tip of the board. From this vantage point, you can make out the metal plaque which reads, John Bradley, May 1885. Well, we're actually going to try and pick up the moose head. On the back of the mahogany board, some text is engraved into the wood. It reads, Oxford Taxidermy, 188 Oxford Street, London. Well, how about that? Now we have the information that we need. Nope, don't come down. Can I move the... No, I was trying to... I thought maybe I could put it back, but I guess I can't. Let's talk to him. Alright, well, we're done with the shop. So we need to go to the Oxford Taxidermy. Alright, so the taxidermy shop. It's the morgue, we don't need that yet. It's the South Kensington Fields. There we go. What a lovely room of death! Let's take a look around. A heavily soiled and smelly smock hangs on a brass hook. It appears to be too small to comfortably fit the man working the table. A pail. This large pail is partially uncovered, and the unmistakably pungent odor of formaldehyde assaults the nostrils of those around, except those of the specimen, of course. Some tools. The edge of the table is covered with many of the tools of the taxidermist's art. A small stock of saws, cutting pliers, needles of various sizes, thread, crooked owls, and a camel hairbrush. Some of the taxidermist's chemical preparations are open, and clearly contribute to the foul smell of the workshop. The jars are variously labeled: burnt alum, chlorine of lime, saltpeter, arsenic, camphor, tincture of musk, and salt of tartar. The taxidermist has exercised considerable skill on the head of this extremely large specimen of African buffalo. The span of its horns measures almost 7 feet, even though the tip of one horn is missing. Anything else we can look at? There's a kangaroo. Apparently it's the only animal that we can look at. Despite its blue-gray color, this female is a great red kangaroo from the inland plains of Australia. How about that? There's a carcass. A Thomson's gazelle, whose thoracic cavity has been sliced open. Animal's hide shows signs of deterioration, doubtless the result of a long trip from the Serrated to London. Oh, there's something else over here we can look at. There we go. This large flask of an unstoppered and the unmistakable pungent odor of formaldehyde assaults the air around it. What else we can look at? And we can look at Lars. A relatively large, middle-aged man stands over the cadaver of an antelope, deftly digging into the animal's inner recesses. He exercises what appears to be deep concentration on the job at hand. Alright, well, what we want to do there is a knife around here, if I recall correctly. Oh, there's a knife right there. There we go. This knife could easily be mistaken for a surgeon's scalpel, were it not for the fact the blade is slightly longer and its cutting edge is serrated, presumably to saw through an animal's hide. Serrated blade, huh? Alright, and so with the knife, there's also the smock, and we want to pick that up. Where Holmes just stuffs these things, I don't know. He literally just picks it up and I'll just put it in my coat. So we've already looked at the knife, but again, you can look at it again. So if you look at the inventory. Looking at the smock. And now we want to talk to Lars until we can get some serious answers. Of course, we probably should save. We'll call it Taxidermy, because that is basically where we're at. Excuse me, Mr. Blackwood? Ah, good day, gentlemen. You just missed Mr. Blackwood, I'm afraid. I am Lars Sorenson, his assistant. Perhaps I can help you. I'm Sherlock Holmes, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson. We're assisting the police in a murder investigation. Very thrilling work, I'll wager. We don't slaughter our corpses here. The victims are deceased when they arrive. Very true, Mr. Sorenson. Perhaps that's what passes for professional humor here. What was Mr. Blackwood's interest in Miss Sarah Carroway? I'm sure I don't know. I've never heard of the woman. And how does Mr. Blackwood spend his evenings? I have no idea. I'm his employee, not his guardian. Might we look around the shop? Help yourselves, but I warn you to exercise great care. And where's Mr. Blackwood now? Out, obviously. What is this knife used for? Well, it's not for slicing roast beef. Please be careful, it's extremely sharp. I use it for separating skin from the soft tissue beneath it, among other things. I believe a knife like this was used to kill Miss Carroway. Perhaps this very knife. Your situation is serious, Mr. Sorenson. I'll see you charged as an accessory to murder if you don't assist me. It is urgent that I find Mr. Blackwood. No need to threaten me, Mr. Holmes. Tell you what I need to know. I overheard Blackwood making an appointment to meet someone at the Surrey commercial docks. That's a huge area. Can't you be more specific? Sorry, that's all I know. Except that knife there belongs to Blackwood. Give us a brief description of Blackwood, if you will. He is of medium build, with grey hair, wears a top hat and a monocle. And to whom does this smock belong? That's Mr. Blackwood's. I take better care of my equipment. He's a very messy fellow. Mr. Sorenson, could I ask you one more thing? No, Mr. Holmes. I've told you everything I know. Now you must excuse me. I need to finish this gazelle before it rots. Alright. So we know that the knife belongs to Blackwood. We know the smock belongs to Blackwood. And we know that Blackwood likes to wear a top hat, which could be the same hat that he might have been wearing if he was at the scene of the crime. We also know that if the knife is his, the knife is very similar to what could be the murder weapon. So at this point, Mr. Blackwood, I would say, is definitely numero uno on our suspects list. And we know that he was hanging around the docks, or that he was supposed to meet someone at the docks. But we'll do that in the next video.